Hey guys, it's Pete and Roxy here today, and we're going to talk about duality and polarity. It's like the opposite and how you can grow from the opposite.
Because very often in life, we try to run away from what we don't like, right? Uncomfortable situations or people that are difficult to be around because they might be triggering. And let's face it, sometimes the people who trigger us the most, we're related to, and they're hard to avoid. And you might be sitting there thinking, oh my goodness, but they drive me crazy. So that could be relationship areas, it could be to do with work or how we spend our time. Just often as human beings, we're tending to always run away from what we don't really like or what feels uncomfortable. And we're only moving towards what we do like and things that give us comfort. But the point we wanted to move to today is there is actually a way in which we can shift a lot of ways of looking at this and realize that actually times when things are uncomfortable or difficult, there might actually be massive opportunity for growth, right?
Yeah, and without duality in this life, we don't grow. And that's what our soul has come into experience, growth. And so these people that are triggering us, perhaps in our family or our workplace or our group of friends, they are actually divine gifts and teachers. And if you want to, elevate your frequency and raise your vibration, you have to learn duality is a positive thing. Because if we didn't have it, we would be very stagnant. It would be a slow elevation and ascension.
So next time you've got an annoying member of the family or someone at work, you might instantly, I know I would have a smile across my face if I went, well, they are a divine gift, like grumbling under your breath. But of course, the person who is irritating to be around or is triggering something within us might actually be a gift in that they are helping us to be able to see an area in us where we are unhealed, or there is some sort of emotion that is out of balance and we're getting triggered by that person, whatever they may be. They may be pushy or dominating or argumentative or etc., bringing something up in us. And rather than us just sort of hearing it and moving on, if it truly does upset us or trigger us into a state, it's actually more about us than it is about them, because sometimes people are just difficult and it doesn't bother you too much, but sometimes in a particular way, someone can be particularly triggering and you get really ticked off. It's like it rattles you out of your flow for a moment and you're like, I don't know what it is and blah, 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 blah. And when you're moving into a state like that, where you've moved out of your flow because of someone else, there is actually an opportunity for you to be able to look within, if you're self-aware, and see if you can understand what it is you're getting triggered about and see if you can work through that. Because the goal of all of this is the less things that trigger us, generally the more happy we are and the more in flow we are through our life. So getting triggered can be actually a great way for us to zoom in on our healing, right?
Yeah, and the third and fourth dimension or density is the hardest. That's the hardest phase of the ascension. So once we start moving up into the higher fourth and fifth dimension, remember we're not always staying in one level, we're moving between all of them. And sometimes we'll learn that joy and excitement and flow state is ours on those days. And as you go up more and more in your frequency, you'll learn that, you're getting somewhere. Back in the days when we were in the trenches, the third and fourth dimension, oh my God, it was like down, down, down every day in a row for like weeks on end. And then we'd have a light day and we'd be higher in frequency. I'm like, oh, it's not so bad after all. So if you're going through the trenches and you're feeling like, oh my God, when's this going to end? It will end. There is light at the end of the tunnel. You have to go through the vibrational patterns and distortions to release them, to surrender, and to get to these higher levels. And duality is your key player. So love duality. As soon as you learn to harness why triggers are happening for you, they're happening for you, not to you. And so these people, these teachers around us in your vortex, triggering the heck out of you, you've got to love them and just get smart and wise. And remember that they are helping you to ascend. Even though they don't know maybe about awakening and what you know, let them be where they are, because they're just a guidepost to help you accelerate past in frequency.
So be on the lookout for divine triggers. I'd love to hear from you. Who is a divine trigger in your life, and how you might be able to see past perhaps the pain or the output that they're putting out into the world, and help you to be able to see within yourself some sort of lesson that you've learned from your divine trigger, whoever they may be, your father, your mother, one of your kids, as I said, often people related to, but work colleagues as well. And often what can happen is, once we understand why this person might trigger us or irritate us so much, and we see the underlying reason within ourselves and can reflect on how that is an unhealed part in us, it's the most amazing thing. But sometimes they don't irritate you much anymore, or they don't play out that behavior that they used to. It's like your law of attraction changed because you changed. So if you've had an event like that as well, where someone used to be pushy or dominating or whatever it may be, let us know how you saw what it was, and if your law of attraction changed.